Shalom, shalom, greetings to you all in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, wherever you are. It is a beautiful day that the Lord has created. It's granted us. It's not beautiful because of the happenings. It's beautiful in its original state. It's beautiful in its nature. It's not beautiful because of what is happening to you. You know, what we call a good day for us is depending on what happened on that very day, as if the day is the one that produced the evil, the good we are seeing in that very day. This is still a realm of confusion where people put themselves. It's nothing that the day carries. A day is neutral. Whether good or bad that happens in the day, it's not the fault of the day. The day, if it's Monday, Monday didn't even call itself Monday. That was named by men in order to differentiate days. All right? But will you accuse Monday to have done anything? You know, to you, good or evil? I'm saying just that it is supposed to be neutral, and it is. The only issue is what seem to be good or evil. It all depends or comes from men. All right, whether you yourself or the people around you or the system where you live, the function where you belong. It can be a system built by yourself, by your family, by the society, by the company where you work from, by the government, a nation or something, but it's built by men. All right, these are happenings that are created by people. All right, you observe it very well, and there are a lot, in fact, much as there are those which are created by the society in general, but a lot of things are being created by you yourself. Unfortunately, you think someone else is responsible, for whatever that is being created in your life. Much as there are some contributions from them, but to a large extent, and generally, in fact, not generally, how do I put it? It's like 99.9% is from you. Let us say that 0.1 is from others. And you know how? Even those things that they do will not harm you or mean anything to you if you knew how to navigate through and get rid from all those things. All right? For instance, some people can plan or plot to do evil to you, and you keep on crying about them, and so I'm scared and speaking evil. In contention, trying to fight one another. But in general, when you look at it, I'll give you an example. Daniel, for instance, there's this man Daniel in the Bible. There were certain men, in fact, there were many beyond what you can imagine, because you are dealing with the empire. And the empire, if you talk about officials, different kind of leaders that were coming together against him, the number itself is not given, but there were many. And there was only one man standing. And he heard that they were trying to accuse him of certain things, to the extent that they came up with new laws because of one man. And they plotted to kill him. And eventually it got him into the den of lions. But when you look into that entire story, and you'll see how the attitude, the way Daniel responded and the perception he had, they thought, okay, since they wanted to find fault with him and they couldn't find any, they decided to look into what he believes. And so they began to attack his belief system, because they knew that was now his pillar, or the strongest foundation of who he was. And so they attacked it, and they said, okay, nobody should pray or worship or any other god but you, our king. So they actually wanted to see if they knew that Daniel would not do it. All right, if he does it, still they would have said, you see, now you are worshiping men, and so on and so forth. So these people had done all that they could, and eventually, like I said, there was a law that passed, and passed a law that was now, have you seen that some laws that comes out are not necessarily good for people? No, it's for some few people who enacted those laws, who are legislators, or have had privilege to come up with laws and which would defend them or protect them, rather than defending the interests of everybody. So what we see there is that Daniel was not moved. So that is a good example. For instance, he would have said, people, like 99% of my problems is coming from people around me. I was okay, but look at them. Daniel just prayed as usual, we are told. And in fact, he opened the windows that were facing to Jerusalem. He was not moved. He wasn't panicking, and we don't see him saying, oh God, they are after me, they are about. The man was praying as usual. He just had communion with God. What happened? They came and, took him and threw him in the den of lions. Those who threw him are the ones that the lions first, swallowed. And the next day, the man was still alive, and the king came and called him, are you still there? Then I say, I didn't do any wrong to God or to you, king. I'm here. So Daniel came out from there, and the whole country now, the king said, okay, now you people, you should only worship the God of Daniel. So what I'm saying in that example is to show you that, well, you might say, but it's really, what do you mean that it's not my problem? What do you mean that it's my problem? You see these people who we work with, they're against me, and so on and so forth. Well, what happened with the man? He just had a communion with God and didn't move. He was not moved by what they were thinking. Guess what? He eventually still came out victoriously. I am saying it's not about the people around you. It's you. Your position, your state of being, your attitude, your convictions, your knowledge, your revelation. You see what I mean? Where did I get it? from the Word of God. I am talking about the Word of God. That's the most important thing. You see, how come that this Word has nurtured faith, built nations, men, women, from generations to generations? It's because it is the Word of God. You see what I've just cited, or what I was talking about, is the story of Daniel. And the story of Daniel is written and it's in the Old Testament. It's there for years and years. But I can still pick something that is so real and deep, and there's something spiritual about it that is still relevant in all generations. You see what I mean? So what is it with this word? What is the Word of God? Because if I can pick or draw from that example, for instance, that means there's something about the Word. You know, we can have stories of certain men, you can have stories of different experiences, ordinary experiences you can learn from, but there's something special about the Word of God. And we read in John 1:1. In John 1:1, and we saw something very powerful. It says, in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Blessed Jesus. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. Now I want you to pay attention to this. You see, verse 2, you know, for you to understand verse 1, I want you to pay attention to verse 2, and then we'll come back on verse 1. I bring it together and you will learn something. He was in the beginning with God. He was. It doesn't say it was. Definitely, when you go back when it's in the beginning was the Word, is not referring to the Word as the term word, as a writing, as alphabets, as number, you know, of course, letters, you know, is referring to the Word as a person. Because it says in the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. So it's not talking about letters that became God. No, he's saying this, the Word, the meaning of the word itself, the word was God. So it's a person. My. Look at verse 2. It says, he was in the beginning with God. So the one which was with God, he says he was in the beginning with God. So we are now discovering, no, the Word is more than words. It's more than letters. There's a whole person who is the Word. There's a whole being that has no beginning, because we are seeing something here that in the beginning. Now, the beginning here is not the beginning which has a beginning. It's a beginning where there was no beginning. All right? He's just trying to communicate, because God is eternal God, and eternal God means something or somebody that has no beginning and has no end. When you call God eternal, it means there's no beginning and there's no end. So that is the eternal God. So when they say that the Word was God, it means no beginning and no end. And what we are discovering here, the Word was and is a person. My goodness. So the uniqueness and the power of the Word, and the dependability of the Word, and the hope in the Word, faith in the Word, trust the Word, is because the Word is not just a letter. We are dealing with a personality. Shalom, shalom.